I think I beat it. Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday to you. TGIT. Thank goodness it's Thursday. Never been so happy to see a Thursday in all of my life. And if you've been with me long enough, you know that's what I always say. Okay, so I just heard a ding. So let me acknowledge the student that has joined us. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Hampton.
Good morning, Brittany. Thank you for joining me as you always do. I really definitely appreciate you. Make sure that your phone is on mute, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Today is Thursday, May 28th, 2020, and we are going to be continuing with part two of fractions in our Fundamentals of Math series, okay? Remember, this is the foundational groundwork for being successful in your advanced level math. These concepts can also be found on your science and social studies GED exams. So remember, please take advantage of all of the resources that are given to you on each video. And also make sure that you are studying and taking good notes, but this is preparing you, this is preparing you for the next level, and I want you to be ready. We have been stuck in the house for over 60 days. Okay. And so, what better time and what better way to get prepared than now? So, again, I just want to encourage all of my students, whether you're watching this in real time or watching this as a playback video, or if you're just stopping by and showing support, this is an opportunity for you to take advantage of the resources that are being given, study time, um, asking questions, all of that good stuff. Okay. Excuse me. So, again, make sure that you are taking advantage of the resources that are given to you because you never know. These resources may not be around. So, take advantage of them while you can. Also, please make sure that you are continuously working on your Khan Academy assignments. Um, I am going to make a separate video about that in my virtual announcements video, but just please be mindful that you still have assignments in Khan Academy as well. So I will be doing a video with my virtual announcements after my sessions today. So please be on the lookout for that. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I hope I do not be before you all too long. I'm going to try to make this as engaging and as interesting as possible. Okay. So yesterday we talked about fractions and I gave the breakdown of fractions, what it is, and how we apply it to our everyday lives. If you missed that video, please go to the Fundamentals of Math playlist and watch that video. All fundamentals of math, which is the foundational groundwork for math, integers, fractions, decimals, percents, how to convert them, they will all be in that playlist. So please make sure that you are following along and taking good notes and doing all of those great things to prepare yourself for the next level. All right. So as you all can see here in my colorful scheme, we have adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. Easy. Again, this is basic arithmetic. Okay. Now let me start off by saying this. I use the same numbers, but with different operational signs for a reason. And the reason why I did that was to show you all the rules of everything. So a lot of times I think we get caught up in numbers. Don't worry about the numbers. Focus on the process on what to do and how to do and follow the instructions. That's what I want you to focus on with any concept that you are given. That's very important. Okay. So as you can see here, I have 3 plus 7 plus 2 over 7, 3 over 7 plus 2 over 7, which is equal to 5 over 7. And I have 3 over 7 minus 2 over 7 equals 1 over 7. So this rule is very, very simple. And I'm sorry if you can't uh, see that. And I have someone else joining me, so let me acknowledge them. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Hampton.
Good morning, Mr. Neal. How are you?
I'm doing okay. And how are you?
I am well, thank you. We are going over the fundamentals of math and we're dealing with fractions, okay? So please make sure that your camera is off and that your um, audio is on mute. And if either of you or Miss Brittany have any questions, please feel free to chime in at any given time, okay?
Okay, no problem.
All right. So what it says, and I'm sorry if y'all can't see that, when adding and subtracting fractions with the same denominator, remember the denominator is your bottom number, okay? You will only add or subtract the numerator, which is your top number. So as you can see, I only added 3 plus 2, and we know that that's 5. I did not add the bottom. So remember, with fractions, you just can't add the top and add the bottom. You can't subtract the top and subtract the bottom. It doesn't work that way. Same with subtraction. I subtracted 3 minus 2, and that gave me 1. As you can see, I didn't do anything with the 7. So remember, when you are adding and subtracting fractions with the same denominator, okay, you are only going to follow that operation whether you're adding or subtracting. Okay. Now, going down here with multiplication. When you multiply fractions, this is where you have to know your multiplication. Because remember, you're going to probably go deeper into bigger numbers, and you want to make sure that you have your multiplication down pat. Okay. When you multiply fractions, you multiply the numerators together, then the denominators. So we have here 3 times 2, which we know gives us 6. And we have 7 times 7, which gives us 49. This is my final answer, 6 over 49. Okay. Now, last but certainly not least, when you are dividing fractions, you must use the keep, change, flip rule. Please do not confuse this with keep, change, or keep, change, opposite. That is subtracting integers. And I already have a video about integers already up in the playlist entitled Fundamentals of Math. So let me say this. I know in math that there are a lot of rules. They sound alike. They use same terminologies, or they use the same acronyms or close to it or whatnot. It is your responsibility to decipher the difference. So that's where studying comes into play, making sure that you know the difference between keep, change, flip, and keep, change, because they are two totally different things. Okay. So what you're going to do is, and I have demonstrated it here, you're going to keep the first fraction the same. So 3 over 7 is my first fraction. So I'm keeping that the same. No biggie, no problem. Your second step is to change the division sign to multiplication, because again, multiplication and division are inverse operations. Your third step is to flip the second fraction to its reciprocal. Okay. So when I flip my fraction, instead of me having 2 over 7, I now have 7 over 2. Wow, this has now turned into a multiplication problem. So that means I'm going to follow the rule over here of multiplying fractions. Multiplying my top two numbers together to give me 21, multiplying my bottom two numbers together to give me 14. And as you can see, I went ahead and I reduced 21 over 14 to 3 halves now, or 3 over 2. Now, again, if you need a refresher on improper fractions and mixed fractions and how to convert all of those things, please let me know in the comments section, and I'll be sure to do either more than likely, it will be under the Fundamentals of Math playlist um, video section. And excuse me for a moment. Mm. All right. So Those are the rules for when you're adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing fractions. And as you can see, I put easy up there simply because it's basic arithmetic. Okay. So again, it is very important that you are strong and you are confident within the basic arithmetic arena. Otherwise, any other math after that may be challenging for you. Okay. So again, please make sure that you're taking advantage of the resources that are being given to you. Okay. Well, this is the $1,000,000 question that I always come upon. Well, what if you have fractions that have unlike denominators? No worries. I'll show you how to solve those problems because you got to know it. On your math GED exam or maybe your science GED exam, especially in word problem format, you may come across a problem that starts off as, I don't know, a fraction. Your answer may have to be converted to a decimal or a percent, or you may have to convert your answer to a mixed fraction or improper fraction. So again, is why it's very important that you make sure that you have your basic arithmetic skills down packed, because you are definitely going to need them. We are definitely going to apply them now. Okay. And that's my toolbar. Love this guy. He is awesome. So let's just say, for instance, and I'm going to start off with a small fraction. I don't know. Let me do 3/5 plus 1/2. Now, you can automatically tell that we have unlike denominators, meaning that we have two denominators or our bottom numbers are different. Please do not do this, because that would be incorrect. So don't do that. That is not your right answer. Okay, so there are some steps that you are going to have to follow, and you can use these steps for adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. Okay, and I'm going to type those as we go along so that way you can get the notes in real time. All right. All right. Let me move this over. All right. So step one, you are going to have to find the least common denominator. And I put that in big bold or big letters because I do not want you to be confused with the greatest common factor. I believe I did a video on that yesterday as well. So please make sure that you watch that video to understand the difference between a factor and a multiple. All right. So the question is, how do we find the least common denominator? Okay, well, that's no biggie. I'm going to tell you how. So in this instance, you're going to count by each denominator, meaning you're going to count by fives and you're going to count by twos. Okay. So let me start with the fives, and I'm just going to write everything out step by step so you can see it. That way you can have a visual and a better understanding of how all of this fun stuff works. Okay. So when we count by fives, we start off with 5, 10, 15, and I'm just going to stop at 20. Okay. When we count by twos, we're going to do the same thing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm going to stop right there. All right. So when I do this, my least common denominator will be 10. And I'm going to see if I can try to highlight. Oh, I probably can't. I don't know. Okay. Okay. So that's my little highlighter, y'all. I hope y'all can see it. But yes. Now, I've gotten this question many a times before. Well, Miss Hampton, they have 20 in common, they have 30 in common, they have 40 in common. And you're absolutely right. All of those numbers that I just mentioned and beyond, 5 and 2, they do have those numbers in common if you continue to count by fives and if you continue to count by twos. However, again, very important, you are looking for the least. Least meaning smallest. So don't use 20, don't use 30, don't use 40, because what will happen is you will bring upon an extra step that is unnecessary. So remember, your math GED exam is timed. So you want to make sure that you use all of the tips, the tools, the tricks, the techniques, the shortcuts that are presented to you. So that way, if you come across a problem that will be, you know, difficult, or you may need more time on that particular problem, you can flag it and go to the next one, and then you'll have more time to go back and work out that particular problem. Okay. All right. All right. So step 2. Well, let me do this real quick. All right. So 10 is now my new bottom number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a 10 down here, and I'm going to write 10 down here. Okay. Now, this is where, again, multiplication and division comes in. What you're going to do is you are simply now going to divide your first bottom number into your second. I normally call this the original fractions, the old fractions, and the new one, the new fractions new. So you're going to divide 5 into 10. That gives me 2. Okay. And then I'm going to divide 2 into 10, and that gives me 5. So my second step is as follows. All right. So that's what I did. I'm simply going to, again, divide my old, and let me write up here, old. So these are my old fractions, and up here is my new. So let me put new fractions. Okay. So I'm going to divide 5 into 10, and that's going to give me 2. Now we're going to hold on to that 2 because this plays into the next step. So I'm going to put multiply by 2 here. Then I have 2 divided by this 10, which gives me 5, and I'm going to place my 5 here. Okay, so this leads me to actually step 3. Okay, so you're going to take that answer, or technically the quotient, that's really what it's called, but you're going to take that answer and multiply by the old numerators in each fraction. Okay, so when I do this, I have 3 times 2, and that gives me 6. Okay, when I do that, 1 times 5, that gives me 5. And I'm going to place my answer there. Okay, now let me also add this. Okay, let me also add this to step 3. Sometimes I put this as a separate step, but I think I'm just going to put it together. Take that answer and multiply it by the old numerators in each fraction. Then place that answer, or those answers, right, as your new numerator. Okay, for each fraction. Okay, now before I go any further, because I am running out of room here, I'm going to make this a little smaller so that way I can still have room. All right, now step 4, you're going to add or, and let me put or, all right, so now the final step in all of this is simply put, you are going to add or subtract and simplify if need be. So when I add my fractions of 6 over 10 plus 5 over 10, that gives me 11 over 10. Now, does anybody, either of my students that are here in class, do you all remember what kind of fraction this is called? And if you don't remember, you can just simply say, Miss Hampton, I don't remember.
Would you like call it how the fraction is? Is
Hmm?
it a improper fraction?
Yes, it is an improper fraction. It is
Uh,
improper because, thank you, Mr. Neal. It is improper because, if I can find my, it is improper because my numerator is larger than my denominator. Not to say that we can't have that, but it's improper. So the good news is I do not have to simplify this fraction. So that's wonderful. That's the good news. Okay. But now very quickly, I'm going to show you all how to convert a mixed fraction, I'm sorry, a improper fraction to a mixed fraction and vice versa. Okay. Do 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 do. All right, so I have 11 over 10. Now remember, if you've been with me long enough, or you know the type of teaching style that I, do, you know that I always say that fractions are nothing more than division problems. And that is true. So I am going to use division to convert this improper fraction to a mixed fraction. Okay. So again, this is going to take you knowing how to divide. And I'm going to take it back to the old school, the way that I used to do it when back in my day. Okay. So I am going to take my bottom number and I'm going to divide it into my top number. Fractions are nothing but division. So when I do this, I have to see how many times 10 goes into 11 without it going over. So when I do this, that means it can go in one time. Now this 1 is going to serve as my whole number. And I'm going to put the hashtag sign, but back in my day, it was the number sign. So it's not saying whole hashtag, it is saying whole number. Just want to put that out there. All right. Now, when I multiply 1 times 10, that's going to give me 10. And now I'm going to subtract. Leaves me with 1. Now, my 1 is typically known as the remainder. But this remainder this remainder is now going to serve as my new numerator for my mixed fraction. Okay. And then 10 is still going to be my denominator. Okay. So in essence, what I have done, and I'm going to type these rules out as well, so no worries, because I understand a lot of people are visual people, and I respect that. Okay. So 11 over 10, that's improper. I have now converted it to a mixed fraction. It is called a mixed fraction simply because you have a whole number and a proper fraction together. That's really what that is. All right. So now I'm going to type out these rules very, very quickly, and then we're going to proceed with the next rules. And then after that, we actually might be done. I don't know. It just depends. Okay. Okay. So remember, step 1, you're going to divide your denominator into your numerator. Number 2, follow the rules of long division. Number 3, the remainder, if you have one, but sometimes you won't have one, but we'll get into that momentarily. Step 4, use the original denominator in your mixed fraction. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. These are the rules that you need to know, and from for changing or converting improper fractions into mixed fractions. Again, you have to be very mindful of what the directions on your GED exams in math and or science are asking you to do. Okay. And it also depends upon the answers as well. Sometimes you'll get an answer and then you look at your answer. Well, my answer's not up there. It's probably up there, but it's written in a different format. So you have to make sure that you know how to convert between certain, things such as improper fractions to mixed fractions to improper fractions. Okay. So how do we feel so far, Mr. Neal and Miss Brittany? Y'all okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, and remember, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. All right.
Okay, no problem.
All right. So now what I want to do very quickly, I want to go the opposite way. I want to convert a mixed fraction to an improper one. So it makes sense if I go ahead and use the same fraction that I just did. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay. So I have 1 and 1 over 10. Okay. And of course, we know the answer is 11 over 10, but how in the world did we get there? Okay. Well, first things first. Dealing with this is nothing more than basic arithmetic again. You're going to multiply your bottom number times your whole number. So I'm going to put an X right here. So when I multiply 1 times 10, that gives me 10. Then I'm going to take that and I am now going to add it to my numerator. Okay, let me erase that because that looks kind of weird. Okay. All right, there we go. So in essence, you're kind of going like in a circle. If you're a visual person and you see the connection of that, then good for you. Okay. So again, rules for converting okay. Step 1. We're going to multiply the denominator by the whole number. Step 2. Take that answer and add it to the numerator. Make sure I put periods after these sentences because that's kind of important. Is that a comma? That is a comma. All right. And step 3. Okay. Take that answer and add it to the numerator. And then step 3, this number serve as the new numerator for your improper fraction. And you keep the same denominator. 3 easy steps. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I promise you. It's real simple. All right. So these are the rules for converting mixed fractions into improper fractions. Again, this is just simple, basic arithmetic. And I'm saying this and I'm stressing emphasis on it because you have to make sure that that foundation is strong. If it is not strong, I can guarantee you, I don't want this for you, but I can guarantee you that as you progress in the higher level math, it's going to become more difficult for you. And I do not want that for you. Okay, so please, again, just make sure that you have a very strong grip and a very strong handle on your basic math skills. All right. This is actually going to be very important when it comes to adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing mixed fractions. Okay. Now, the good news is I am going to put multiplying and dividing fractions with unlike. Now let me keep it separate. I'm trying to condense, but I'll just keep everything separate. All right. Okay. So let me put this in the middle. All right, so I think we used the last, but we're going to use the same fractions for the unlike denominators as well. So I had 3 over 5, and this time I'm going to multiply it by 1/2. Okay, and then I had the division. So I'm going to write this over here. 3 over 5 divided by 1/2. All right, so let me start with this one. Again, multiplying and dividing fractions with unlike denominators, simple, because you're going to apply the same rule that you would if they were, or if they had like denominators. So I'm just multiplying my top numbers together. 3 times 1 gives me 3. 5 times 2 give me 10. This is my final answer. That's it. Now, I'm going to follow the same rule of keep, change, flip for this particular problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my first fraction the same. I am going to change my division sign to multiplication, and I'm going to flip my second fraction to its reciprocal, which would be 2 over 1. When I multiply, I am going to be given 6 over 5. Now, again, this is an improper fraction. You do not want to leave your fractions improper unless the rules, or unless whatever the directions tell you to do, that's what you do. But in most cases, you do not leave fractions improper. Only time that's acceptable is with slope. So if you're interested in slope, you can go to my playback video list, and I have it. I have that video on slope there if you're interested in it. All right. So when I do that, I'm now going to have 1 and 1/5. Simple, real easy. So in essence, you are going to follow the same rule for that's it. That's all you're gonna do. Easy, no biggie, real simple. All right. So, do I have any questions, Ms. Brittany or Mr. Neal? Do I have any questions at all over what we've covered so far?
No, not as yet. Not as yet.
Not yet. Okay. Ms. Brittany, are you still with us?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. 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 Mm. Woo. And I know some of you all may be wondering, if you care, is Ms. Hampton still drinking her gallon of water a day? No. I have completely fallen off the bandwagon when it comes to my gallon of water a day. I'm trying to, slowly but surely, I'm trying to get back on there. Okay. It's just been crazy around here. But anyway, but I'm getting back into it. All right. So the time now is 9:41, and what I want to do, I just want to give you all maybe a couple of, I don't know, a couple of problems just to see and just to make sure that you understand how these things work. Okay. So I'm only going to give you 3 problems. It's, actually 4, because I want to do each operation. And then I'm going to email you all a worksheet with this type of for this type of practice, okay? So I just want to give you all, like I said, just a couple of problems. Just to go ahead and knock these on that, so that way we can make sure that we know what we're doing. And let me get back to my favorite color, blue. All right, so we have number one. Uh, Make sure you simplify your answers. Make sure you simplify your answers. Ouch. Mm. Okay, so as soon as you see these on the screen, you can go ahead and get started. Ms. Brittany, you can go ahead and write these following problems down, so that way you can have them and you can work on them. The first problem says 2 over 9 plus 4 over 9. The second problem says 10 over 11 minus 4 over 11.
Miss Thompson,
Yes.
I still see it.
Huh?
I can't even see it.
Oh, you can't see it?
No, ma'am.
That's why I'm telling you what the problems are, so that way you can write them down, okay?
Mhm.
Okay. So do I need to go back to number one?
Mhm.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Number one says 2 over 9, and that's going to be added to 4 over 9. Okay. Let me know when you're ready for number two. Let's see.
I'm ready for number 2.
Okay. Number two says 10 over 11 minus 4 over 11.
Can you repeat that?
10 over 11 minus 4 over 11. Okay. Let me know when you're ready for the next one, Brittany.
Um,
I'm sorry, you ready?
yes.
Okay. Number three says 5 over 6, and that's multiplied by 1/2.
Done.
Okay. And the last one is going to be 3 over 8, and that's going to be divided by 1 over 4.
I'm done.
Okay, so I want you to practice working on those problems, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Neal, how are we doing? Are we finished with the problems?
I'm
Or
not
we,
working it. I'm not working it. I got 2 more to do.
oh, you said you have 2 more to do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, like I said, these are just practice problems. I want you all to to work on. What I will do after this session, I will be emailing the both of you a worksheet that deals with everything that we've gone over for today. Okay.
Okay.
So just know that that email is coming. It is forthcoming. Okay. And if anyone is watching the playback video, I'll be sure to leave the PDF link in my pinned comment section. Again, the PDF links, you can download them to your computer or your phone or whatever electronic device that you're using. If you have access to a printer, you can also print out the worksheets as well if you want to have, something to hold and something to grab on. Okay. So again, I just want to make sure again that the resources are easily accessible for you, and readily available to you. Okay. Um, so how do you think you all did on today's session? How do you feel about today's session? Let me say that.
Great.
Okay. Was this a refresher course for you all, or is this something like I totally forgot how to do it, Miss Hampton, but now I get it?
It's like a refreshment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how we have to look at these things. We have to look at these things like I've seen it before and I know I've done it before, but it's just been a while. So you may want to, look at it from the perspective of, okay, I know how to do this, but I just need to strengthen my skills in this area because I've done it before. It's just been a while. Okay. So again, that's very, very important, and making sure that you know what it is that you're doing. Okay. So do I have any final thoughts, any other questions? Because again, I want to make sure that I get this video uploaded for anyone that is, interested in watching this playback video. And I want to make sure that I give you all enough time to practice on the fractions. No news is good news, right? Yeah,
Oh wait, is us speaking too?
huh?
Wait, what did you just say? I was paying attention in the book. Was writing on the work. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
that's
I
fair.
was writing down.
Okay. What I was asking was, did you all have any final questions, any final thoughts, or do you all have any suggestions on any freebie Friday videos that you would like for me to do? Which
Oh,
which by the way, I will be doing those videos all the way probably up until the end of June. So if you have any suggestions or on what you want to see on the freebie Friday videos, please contact me, leave it in the comment section, text me, let me know so that I can prepare those lessons for you.
okay. I got two videos. I'm gonna text you.
Okay, yes, make sure you
Yeah.
text it to me, okay?
Yes, no problem.
Okay, and also let me say this. Um, before just I will say this, and this is for anyone that's watching this as a in real time or in playback. Make sure that you also watch the playback videos in my playback playlist on my channel. A lot of times what you actually may want may actually be in there as well. So just make sure that you check all the playlists of any concepts that you need, so that way you can save, yourself the time and the trouble. But still go ahead and text those to me, Mr. Neal, so that way I can have it. And then I can let you know whether or not I've already done a video on it.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. So again, I cannot stress enough the importance of taking advantage of the resources that are given to you. Just please make sure that if you have any questions about anything that's in this video or related to the video, if you have my information, contact me. If you're watching this and you don't know me from Adam's Alley Cat, drop it in the comment section. I do respond to all comments. I really, really do. That's what I do. I want to acknowledge and acknowledge people and, answer their questions and give any feedback, or, just, anything, because that's important. I don't believe in ignoring people. That's rude. And I'm not rude. Okay. So, with all of that being said, I am going to go ahead and to stop the recording. I will go ahead and email you and Miss Brittany the extra worksheet, so that way you all could have more practice on these things. And the practice sheet will come with the answer sheet as well, so you can check your work. I don't have to check it. You can check it yourself. See? All right. So, anything else?
I'm done.
Oh, you're done.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. How do you feel about your answers?
Confident.
As well as you should. That is definitely important. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a whole separate video with the answers. So more than likely, I will probably have that posted later on today. So just be on the lookout for it. Okay.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Well, alrighty, you all. Let me go ahead and get you all situated, get everything together for you all. Yeah, I think today's class went really, really well. Um, again, I really do thank you all for your due diligence and coming to class and just, you know, being consistent. I really do appreciate that. It's not going unnoticed and it's not in vain at all. Um, so yeah, and tell someone that you love them today. Seriously, it's too much happening. But I'll save that for my virtual announcements. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and sign off. Remember, if you have any questions about anything related to this video and you're watching this as a playback, make sure that you drop it in the comment section, and I will be more than happy and willing and able to answer all your questions. Please enjoy your weekend. Please be safe. Please continue to adhere to the guidelines as it relates to going back outside. Wear your masks, wear gloves, hand sanitizer, social distance, do all of that stuff. If you don't have to go anywhere, just stay home. Like, unless you have to get quarantine snacks. Okay. So Miss Hampton loves each and every one of you. There is absolutely, emphatically nothing you can do about that. And until Monday, bye.
Already?
Yeah, already.
Wow.